So I'm a big supporter of not only the film industry and making sure that we have a even playing field with regard to other states and other countries and what they're doing for their entertainment industry. I'm proud to, for the second year, have been a co-author of the film tax credit bill for 2 years, as I said. Next year, I want to do a bill that will allow smaller production companies, including documentaries, also buy a little bit into this pie, not the same pie, but it'll be a separate pie of about $12 million. If we help everybody in the entertainment industry, hopefully the economy and the entertainment industry jobs will not only come back, but stay here. I mean, we're real concerned about more leaving. And it's not just Los Angeles, you know. I have to say in Sacramento, people say, oh, that's just an LA issue. In fact, it isn't. And even if it was, even if we're only talking about film or entertainment industry related jobs in Los Angeles, that is the economy of California, right? We all pay taxes here in Los Angeles.
Into a big pool,
That's
right?
correct. That's correct. Into the general fund, right?
Okay.
But in fact, all 58 counties benefit from filming and from the entertainment industry. Plus, since the film tax credit kicked in, we now have information, meaning we have invested $300 million in our tax credits, and we've gotten $3.1 billion back. We know that. We can track it. We know what jobs are staying here, what productions are staying here. And through the inculcation process of educating our colleagues in Sacramento, you know, there are literally two budgets. We all know that production companies have the lottery budget on June 1, right? If they're chosen for the lottery, that is the film tax credit, they have one budget. And if they don't, they have the other budget, which is Canada or Georgia or fill in the blank. So they are going to go either with California if they get the budget, or out of state if they don't. And just last night, I had a conversation with a gentleman who does production for a living. He says in the last 10 years, he has done 2 productions in California, and the other 9 productions have been somewhere else because of the film tax credit and the incentives in other countries and states. In the last 2 years, having watched this process, it's gotten a lot better. This year on the assembly floor, we had 70 votes. That means out of 80. 70 assembly members out of 80 voted for the film tax credit, for 2-year film tax credit. That's significantly better than last year. The stumbling block is that a lot of companies or industries think that they should have a tax incentive too. And so we have been able to produce the documentation through the Film Institute and the Film Commission and Amy Lemish and whatnot that have said, when you invest, your return on investment is huge. So it's good to do the tax incentive. People are staying here. We know those jobs are staying here. So it is a process that's taking a little bit longer, but we are getting there. And actually last year, my colleague Isadora Hall and I wanted to introduce a $250 million film tax credit, and we were asked not to by a couple of involved because they didn't want to jeopardize the other. They didn't want the other one to go away. So that's kind of the situation as it stands now. But as I said, it is getting better. It is getting stronger. I think that we might be able to look at a higher one. I mean, I'm certainly for it, and I would be honored to carry legislation that says that. Because actually it should be a 3 or 4 year tax credit so people can really, truly plan, yes. Right? But it's hard because of our economy right now for leadership to say, well, we should be giving this tax credit when we don't know how the economy is going to do. It is the governor, the state of California, right? So we can work really hard to get a bill to him. If he doesn't like it, he'll veto it, right? So you have to work with the governor all along the way to make sure you're creating and crafting legislation that he will ultimately sign. Otherwise, it's a waste of everyone's time. I believe so. I have not had this conversation with him. I don't know. But when you start looking at these tremendous numbers that the Film Commission is able to provide, it's clear. It's definitely clear. And when you start taking the testimony that we heard in committee on this issue is so compelling. It's compelling from everybody who's involved in the industry, as well as actual filmmakers, but also the key grips, and everybody involved is like, well, I don't want to live in my van in Iowa because that's where they're producing movies. I want
hotel room
or New Orleans or whatever. Well, a lot of them can't afford it because remember, a lot of them are still maintaining homes here because they do hope to come back here. So it's just it's not a good situation. We need to really invest in our industry.
What can we do to help?
Right. Well, having 70 votes out of 80, you don't. Of course, it would be nice to have everyone come on board, and those 10 people who didn't vote for it, that might be a problem. But don't worry about that. I mean, let's figure out how we can do legislation. And you're right; it needs to be a higher amount. That's the next hurdle. The $100 million is set through 2017. It's probably you're thinking that's just a drop in the bucket, but at least there's that. But we need to build on that. We definitely need to build on that.
Is there any way that, once he signs that bill, is there any way of increasing?
It's already been signed.
That's it.
And that's what's
so
set
they can't
for this year. Well, next year we can introduce legislation that calls for a higher amount, and I'd be, delighted to do that.
So 2013 will be 100. So, and that's good till what they just signed is good till 2017.
Correct.
But is there any chance?
Oh, we could probably augment it. Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right,
we could probably do cleanup legislation, but this would be okay. Now, a new piece of legislation that says ask for 300 million could supersede the other one.
All right. So here's. Seriously, what's the
fairly
chance?
likely?
Really?
He's quite ravenous for information and books and stuff. So yes, I would imagine he would probably
So
look
you
at
think
it.
that's a good idea? Then
I think it's a great idea.
Why should we vote for you and not Richard?
Right. Well, I have in so many areas, including working families and making sure that everyone gets paid a decent wage and are healthy and safe through my bisphenol A, banning bisphenol A, which is BPA, toxic substance from baby bottles and sippy cups. Working hard for our elders and our veterans, working hard for the people of the state of California, but also making sure that businesses, including the entertainment industry, have the tools and the people to support what they're doing. I am a staunch advocate. I have been from the beginning. Again, having served on the Film Commission prior to my election, I am your biggest advocate and would be honored and thrilled to help however I can, and working with the Film Commission to make sure that we have a strong, vibrant entertainment industry in California is a priority.
Cool.